I think IEMs represent excellent value for gaming, and so far on this channel, most of the IEMs I've reviewed have been in the affordable category, at around $100 US. If all you want is good quality audio and you don't care about things like microphones and wireless connections, IEMs can provide an excellent experience and a competitive advantage. All of the IEMs that I've reviewed up until this point completely crush the average mid-range and even many of the high-end gaming headsets when talking about sound quality. But what if you're not simply looking for an affordable audio solution? What if you want to take things to the next level? Well, that's exactly the type of IEM we're going to look at in this video. At roughly the same cost as a well-respected mid-range headset like the SteelSeries Arctis Nova 5, the Juzear Butterfly 61T is an IEM for those who want more out of their audio experience when gaming. The 61T is an exceptional solution for just about every type of gaming need, from immersing yourself in a story to gaining the upper hand. Not only that, it sounds great for all kinds of music. It has a couple of minor flaws, but overall this is an incredibly solid IEM that does it all. As usual, here's my disclaimer. I'm not an audiophile, and this review is skewed towards gamers. Of course, I will talk about how they sound with music, but ultimately, my recommendation is based on how good I think this IEM is for gaming, and also what types of games I think it's best suited for. Okay, the 61T retails for $220 US or $330 Australian. In the box, you get the IEM, obviously. You get a hard carry case big enough to hold your tips and something like an iPhone adapter. Fitting everything in is a little snug because of the thick-ass cable it comes with, but you wouldn't want a case much bigger than this. The cable has the standard 2-pin connector, and it comes with either a 3.5mm or a 4.4mm plug, and obviously 3.5mm is what you're going to want for console gaming. You also get 3 different styles of tips in various sizes, and a little cloth so that your 61T can always be at its shiniest. Each earpiece has 4 high-frequency and ultra-high frequency balanced armature drivers, as well as 2 mid-frequency balanced armature drivers and a 10mm dynamic bass driver, so that's 7 in total per earpiece. From a form factor standpoint, the 61T is a chunky boy. Despite their size though, they're actually very light, weighing in at just 6 grams per unit. The housing is actually 3D printed, although you wouldn't know it just by looking at it. The build quality here is high. It's a contoured style, and while I normally find this approach a little hit and miss when it comes to comfort, I find the 61T very comfortable, even after multiple hours of listening. The faceplate has an abalone finish with a butterfly design on it. This look is not to my taste simply because I prefer an understated look, but it's pretty common in the IEM space. Of the tips it comes with, I found the bullet-style silicone tips to be the most comfortable, and they provided the best seal. Of course, this is hugely subjective, and it's definitely worth trying out all the styles to see what works best for you. The other 2 types of tips are the silicone bowl design and the memory foam tips. Sadly, you only get 2 different sizes in the memory foam, and the smaller size is still too big for my ears. I really appreciated that they threw some in though. It gives you a nice taster of the different tip styles that are available, and this will be especially useful if this is your first pair of IEMs. Moving on to sound, I want to start with the non-audiophile and abridged version. So this is a warm sounding IEM with excellent detail and bass. There's nothing I've thrown at them that they don't perform well with, both competitively and from a sheer enjoyment standpoint. Fast-paced competitive shooters, racing games, fighting games, violent boomer shooters, you name it, it does the lot. Whether you want a competitive advantage or just an incredible audio experience, the 61T delivers in all situations. Talking about how they sound with a bit more nuance, the 61T is very resolving with decent imaging. This is especially obvious when playing something where positional audio and fine details can make a huge difference to your overall experience. Horror games like the Dead Space remake are a perfect example. Every subtle creak, whisper, and background noise is discernible, and locating points of interest and threats in the darkness is much easier than any of the headsets that I own. Cinematic games benefit equally from the warm sound signature and deep bass. Theatrical scores and sound effects hit hard, without sacrificing clarity for dialogue and other important sound cues. I've been playing a little bit of the finals recently, and the technical performance is excellent. You can hear other players with pinpoint accuracy, while gunshots and destruction effects remain crunchy, deep, and satisfying. I have other IEMs in the $100 price bracket that deliver parts of this experience, but nothing that delivers all of this as a collective whole. The experience with music is equally impressive. Every genre I've thrown at it sounds great, and for an IEM the soundstage is reasonably wide. The one area where I think the 61T is lacking, especially for gaming, is the highs. I find them a fraction too shouty. This isn't immediately noticeable and it differs from game to game, but I notice it the most in games where there is constant action. The finals is again a great example because you're constantly being bombarded with sound, and I find the 61T a little taxing after a long session. This is by no means a deal breaker, and I'm happy to push through given how good they sound. It's just something to bear in mind if you regularly play for extended periods. The Juzear Butterfly 61T isn't something I'd recommend to everyone. It's really an IEM for those looking to spend headset money on something that sounds demonstrably better than a headset. From a sound point of view, there isn't much in the headset space that can rival what the 61T does. They might not be the most comfortable listening experience for long sessions, but this of course will be very subjective, and in my experience, it was only really an issue when pushing beyond 4 or 5 hours. Overall, the 61T is an excellent sounding IEM. It comes with a good selection of tips, a nice cable, and is definitely worth considering if you want a premium audio experience for all your gaming and music needs.